Welcome, Warriors, back with another episode of the Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. How are we doing? Hope you guys had a nice Halloween, and I think I'm going to use parts of my outfit at times. I like that Warrior Roman outfit, so it's kind of cool. Hope you guys had a nice Halloween. So, and thank you once again, all the subscriptions, comments, likes, all those type of things. That's greatly appreciated. Today we're going to go a little bit on the money and wealth type of direction for a couple of these. I always, as I think we were talking about Think and Grow Rich, we're still continuing that book. I'll get back to that at some point, probably during the week. But another person who kind of learned from Napoleon Hill and worked with him was a gentleman named Bob Proctor. And if you look up his videos, and I'll put his name on the down below in the description, but look up his videos. He's got great videos, and he's been a great motivational speaker for many, many years. And he talks about this thing called law of compensation. So we're going to focus on that one for a little bit here. So the law of compensation is the fact that you get in what you're going to put out. So the thing is that as you're doing things, you can kind of examine how successful you are in any sort of thing by focusing on what things you're putting into something. So let's, for example, the law talks about the fact that you will gain an amount of money in a direct ratio to three things. Okay, so the amount of money you make is in direct relationship to the need out there for the service or product. Okay, so that's one, the need. The second one is your ability to do that. Okay, so your ability to do that need. And the third one is difficulty to replace you. And I think as you do this, you realize that as you pick a passion, as you pick things that you think are important, think about these three things as you're building your career. Now, some of you are older like I am. You may shift your career like I've done several times. I think I'm in my 7th, 8th, or 9th different types of career fields over the years because it keeps shifting, not only because of technology, because of other things around you. So when we look at this type of thing, we look to see, okay, how is it that I can kind of accomplish my goal? If I want to make $1 million by December 25th or by January 1st, 2022, how do I do that? Well, let's look at these three and we'll kind of focus on. So the first thing is that you have to have, the first one was there has to be some need for this service. Now, with technology changing like it is, you can go into lots of different things. My son does streaming, gaming types of things. And there's lots of money. People are interested in that, okay? There's lots of other things when it comes to normal things like cars, fixing houses, those type of things. There's lots of ways to make money because there's needs that people have. Now, in my case, I went from, being an administrator all those years to now going back to teaching and focusing on things that I thought were really important for people to need. And so what I'm seeing, and I think a lot of this is, in my opinion, back to, in education especially, back to the core, the plans we had for core, core studies and things like that, and all the things we've been doing in school, I think have not helped students. I think it's kind of dumbed down curriculum enough to the point where people are missing a lot of those basic type of skills. And so that's why when I look at things, I've done a lot of work within my business here, focusing on, not only teaching things like communications and teaching things that people need to kind of survive, not only public speaking, but interpersonal communication, things like that. But then I've also, because my background in stats and things like that, focusing on, working with kids with math and science, and whether it's geometry, pre-calc, all these areas that they are really struggling with because the grammar schools just have not done a good job in our area here of focusing on that. And so there's a huge need for that type of thing. So that's why when we look at this type of thing, the one thing you have to kind of calculate, it's what is the need for the skills that you bring. That's important. Okay, what is the need that you're bringing? So that's the first part of this, is that you have to kind of examine that type of thing. And so that law of compensation will come into effect once you do something and you kind of focus on that. Second thing then is your ability to do it. In my case, it took many, many years to kind of come to this realization that this is what I should be doing, focusing on the, helping other people out. So this is why I'm doing these videos now. This is why I'm focusing on something even like our journey, retention, things like that. Because my goal, my focus, my passion really is to help people. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do is kind of do that, as I'm gotten to the point where I got help from people from a lot of years, and I want to kind of give back and help other people out. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And maybe as some of you are in your 20s, as you get to the point where you're 40 and 50, then you will be able to think about doing the same type of thing. But passing the information out, whether it's retention, whether it's brahmacharya, whether we're talking about wealth, health, spiritual types of things, all those things are information that can help you become better. And that's my whole goal that I have, to try to make people better. So my ability has increased with all that, with the ability to be able to kind of work through, math and physics and science and things like that, and also apply those to things like we're talking about, right? Energy and loss of energy and things that we're talking about with that. So the other thing then, the third one, focuses on your ability to be replaced. So if they can replace you very easily, okay, then it's not, you're not going to make as much money. So you have to become valuable. And so that's why I think by doing multiple types of things and multiple incomes, you become a valuable person. Not only can you survive with enough money to have, more of it is the focus on being able to really look at trying to become so skillful and kind of work on your skills and work with people, that the more you can work with people, the better you are and the more in demand you are. And because you're more in demand, then you are able to focus more on helping people with a certain level of skill. And I think that's the key to this. So those are the three areas of the law of compensation. So how do we apply those things? Well, you have to first kind of look at what things you want to do. What is your passion? Chances are, if you're going to go with your passion, you're going to actually be better in your own skill base on that. And if you're better with that, well, then you become more of a solid person, and then you're able to kind of say, okay, this is something I'm interested in. Then what I would do is go ahead and focus on looking at what's needed out there now. Now this may change in 5-10 years with technology the way it is and everything changing. There's a lot of other needs that are created, right? I always remember a story of the person who was the post office general of the United States of America in 1861. And he had said that all inventions were created. He was going to close up shop in 1861 because all the inventions have been created, nothing else is needed. Well, how wrong he was, right? I mean, look at society changes every 10 years, every century, and all of a sudden now you have lots of other things going on. I mean, I go back, guys, to the days where we had phones on the walls, right? When he had used letters like Westwood 123 to actually, talk about calling somebody on a phone, right? We only had like 3 TV stations, right? 3 or 4, I think it was. And we didn't even have TV, right? We listened to radio. My grandparents and parents listened to great radio up until like the 40s or something like that. So, you had a lot of technology. The car was developed in 1900. So, you had lots of innovations that happened way after 1861, even the plane. But the thing is that, so we never know what things are coming, but all you can do is kind of look at the needs of people. Now, in my case, I think there's always going to be a need for people for interpersonal communication and working together, because I do think a lot of people struggle with the technology and they use technology to replace people. And so I think what you got to do is kind of say, okay, people still are people. And the one thing that never changes is who people are. People are going to be people. God's created us the same way, no matter what century, what year we're in, and they're going to act the same way. The greed, the corruption, the giving, the hope, the prayer, the love, all those things are still the same with people. And those are the types of things you have to kind of look at and see if you can balance it out. But skill levels like, basic skills and writing and reading, things like that, I think are suffering. And so that's an area that I'm gone in, as well as communicating with people and working with people and living a better life. So to me, this is kind of why I did all these type of things. But back to the main thing is law of compensation was Bob Proctor again, and I'll once again list that in your in the description. But go and take a look at those three things as you're looking at law of compensation, and that law will work for you to kind of improve yourself and your financial situation. But it can also improve yourself in any kind of goal you want to have. When it comes to goals, focus, 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 and don't lose your focus. Almost like that big black dot. Put something up there saying I want to make $1 million by December, and you'll be amazed to see how all of a sudden opportunities, things will come your way. All right, guys, until next time, battle on.